Get 'em, boy!
I have mixed feelings about Tekken 8 vs Mortal Kombat 1. I don't know if this is true, but apparently people are leaving Mortal Kombat 1 and going to Tekken 8. I've been thinking of moving over to Tekken myself. I wanted to find a replacement for Mortal Kombat. Well, I tried it, finding a replacement, that is. And I downloaded Soulcalibur 6 to start off my quest of finding a replacement. And when I played Soulcalibur 6, I found myself missing the fighting style in Mortal Kombat. Yes, the actual fighting styles in the modern games MK, X and 11. I thought, no, I can't do this. Mortal Kombat is like a toxic family to me. I'm stuck with it whether I love it or I hate it. And I ride and die with it. I don't want to start getting into Tekken and trying to invest myself into learning about the characters and the game, even though this character Jin Kazama looks very cool, and I could probably get into this game. I like Mortal Kombat. I'm invested into the characters in Mortal Kombat. I know their lore, I know their behavior, I know where they come from and what they're all about, and I enjoy playing as them. This is why I get pissed off when the developers mess around with the characters that have already been set in lore. And this new Mortal Kombat 1 is the biggest rug pull of destroying the beautiful story and lore that existed already. All to tell a new story that just sucks really badly. Netherrealm abuses the old characters and the established lore, shoving them aside, and tries to put these disrespectful punks in your face as the new thing. Remember in MKX how they made everyone old and grey, and then they tried to make you like these kids. I like the Power Ranger teenagers better than these punks. These punks are like 4 unruly kids that got picked out of college and sent on a Mortal Kombat quest, but they look more like they would rather record TikTok videos. And then they try to force feed you that this new Cassie Cage can just go ahead and defeat Shinnok. Not just Shinnok, Super Shinnok. She couldn't even overcome Sub-Zero, and I doubt she can overcome anyone else from the older cast. But she can overcome the final boss just because it's the story that NRS wants to tell. This unruly whippersnapper has the nerve to call his dad a son of a bitch. Right up to his face. Is this what modern characters you're trying to promote and show as the new heroes? If I talked to my dad like that, I wouldn't be sitting here making a YouTube video. I'd be buried in the nearest cemetery, in pieces, and I wouldn't even be upset about it because that's exactly what I would deserve. These kinds of heroes that NRS tried to portray doesn't draw me in at all. I'm averse to it. I might have liked Takeda and Kung Jin if they weren't behaving like Starbucks drinking, Subway eating city kids. What's wrong with having a humble character? You can draw an audience with a humble character. You can build a fan base with a stoic and humble character. Look at Samurai Jack, for example. He's the most humble character I know. And even when his episodes and adventures are silent, the writers knew what they were making, and they were still able to draw us in with peace and silence. There's an episode of Samurai Jack that I still think about today. It's when these 5 or so bounty hunters, they come together and they spend the whole episode planning on how to defeat Samurai Jack together because they can't do it on their own. And at the end, Samurai Jack walks silently and stoically, aware of his surroundings, not saying a word, when they suddenly spring up and attack. But Jack doesn't freak out at all. He just does what Samurai Jack does, and he dispatches all of them like a grandmaster swordsman, all before a drop of water lands on the ground. Not a single word said, and look at the respect he commands from his audience. We are drawn more and more into watching him, finding out about him, being like him. We want to emulate powerful and stoic characteristics, not teenager emotional ups and downs. Nobody sits there and is moved by a teenager brat being emotional and acting like an undisciplined child.
But Napper, what about Raiden? He's humble and disciplined.
Don't talk to me about Raiden, who pretends to be humble to get people to like him. He has a weak character. What kind of humble character fights a woman and then goes, "Hey, I liked grappling with you and hitting you. I'm hoping we can meet again. Under different circumstances. You know what I mean? Wink wink." I don't like this pretend character. And maybe it's because he's a deformation of an already established Raiden. See, I don't like when my characters are messed around with in this way. This is the toxic relationship I have with Mortal Kombat. Maybe it would have been cool if Raiden wasn't so weak and meek and shy. It doesn't befit a champion of Mortal Kombat to be weak like him. How is a champion of Earthrealm after practicing so much combat that he earns the title of Earthrealm's champion? How is he shy of going to another realm and doing battle? He should feel prepared and confident. I'm just a normal person, and in real life I practice boxing. My boxing training is unconventional. Me and my friend who's way bigger than me, we beat the hell out of each other until we're tired. Practicing fighting makes our confidence skyrocket. And we even do bare-knuckle fighting where we throw shots with full force and damage each other, and then we spend a few days healing from our beatings. The confidence that I get from this unconventional training is that wherever I walk, I feel like I can handle myself in a fight, and that I could deal a lot of pain and damage to someone if I get him just right. But Raiden, being trained by Liu Kang, that feels so wrong to say. After training to be the champion of Earthrealm,
I'm in a new world, and I feel shy and nervous.
Raiden, what were you training that you feel nervous? Send me to be Earthrealm's champion instead. I'm not gonna praise Shao Kahn on his notable list of achievements. I'm gonna tell him, yeah, that's cool, Mr. General, but can you scrap like Nappa the Scrapper? I hate what they're doing to it with every boiling drop of blood in my body. I hate how Netherrealm Studios is making Mortal Kombat feel weak. Mortal Kombat should be the hardest and most powerful fighting game ever made. I wanted to get an MK dragon tattoo on my arm, but I'm glad I didn't because that would be embarrassing. Mortal Kombat is supposed to have the attitude of having the toughest, meanest, angriest, aggressive, deadliest brutes who get together and fight to the death. Every other fighting game fights to the KO, but Mortal Kombat fights to the death. And here's the mixed feeling part. I want to play Mortal Kombat, a proper modern Mortal Kombat, but I don't want to give Netherrealm Studios or Warner Brothers my money. I instead want to buy Tekken 8 in order to support whoever made that series because they are true to their series, and they've kept it consistent, apparently. I want to support these virtues and values of being consistent and loving your art, to make art for your audience, not just a cash grab. I like the passion that's put into Tekken. I wish it was the same over on our side where we had real passionate people telling the story of Mortal Kombat. I want to buy Tekken just to spite the scum who are in charge of developing the story of Mortal Kombat. These weak people with high voices that go up and down like a roller coaster. These are the people who are behind Mortal Kombat. How can Mortal Kombat be the hardest, roughest, meanest bastard of fighting games when we've got these low testosterone garbage deciding what happens with Mortal Kombat? Now here's something to add to make it even more mixed up in my head. I have a clash in my head. I hate what Mortal Kombat's become, but I was watching high-level players playing the game and talking about how to play the game, and I found it interesting. Only the gameplay, that is. Everything else has made me so angry that I actually feel sick and feel like I'm gonna puke. The actual gameplay itself kind of looks like chess to me, where you have your character and you have to strategize how to hit your opponent so that when you do, you can punish their failure to block with a cool combo. The game at a high level is like both players are trying to pass each other's defenses, and as soon as one fails to defend, the attacker punishes them with a relentless combo. I found it intriguing. The thing with the combos is that you have short little moves to do, but you have a sort of creative freedom to string them however you can to create long combos, and that takes creativity and skill. This interests me. Do I just ignore the story, the lore, and everything else wrong with the game just to play a little gameplay and have a giggle every time I land a combo? After watching these high-level players, I've started practicing MK11 and putting the abominable story that I hate so much aside. I'm purely looking at the gameplay, and I actually enjoy practicing the game and learning to strategize my attacks to get through a player's defenses and punish them for it online. Things are putting me off from learning MK11's gameplay. Some high-level players say that MK11 isn't good because it caters to button-mashing scrubs, where this game allows them to defeat high-level players with all the defensive options given to them. In other words, it doesn't allow high-level players to demonstrate their real skill. And if that's really the case, then it sounds like there's some unfairness in the gameplay mechanic. That's one thing. And the second is that I don't like how the game controls are not consistent. In MKX, Sub-Zero's freeze move is down forward 2, and to activate the super version, you have to press the right trigger. Netherrealm caused confusion with inconsistency in MK11 by changing the buttons for the character's moves. In MK11, Sub-Zero's freeze is down forward 1, and to activate the super, you have to press the right shoulder button, not the trigger. How the hell are we supposed to learn this game consistently throughout the years, with all this chaos with button reassigning? Apparently, Tekken has been so consistent throughout the years that someone who played and knew a combo on Tekken 3 could transfer his knowledge straight over to Tekken 8 and still be able to do the same combo. Is it true? I still remember Sub-Zero and Liu Kang's combo from MK3, but I can't do them today. Tekken 8 is supposed to be deeply interconnected and has developed a consistent fighting gameplay so that people who have played Tekken for 10 years are easily set apart and recognized. But Tekken also helps new players to start learning and playing too. There is a tutorial mode on MKX and 11 with separate character tutorials, which is kind of useful, but if those tutorials taught how to string some combos together, that would be good. Mortal Kombat needs consistency. The chaotic flip-flopping is unacceptable. One of the high-level players said that the gameplay in Mortal Kombat 1 is good and that it allows his skills to shine, like it's fair in distinguishing between experienced players of high skill and low-level button mashers. If you play like a low-level button masher in MK1, you'll get destroyed. I don't know about all of this, so I'll just have to take his word on it for now. I don't want to give NRS my money, but I want to try out MK1's gameplay. So I've decided to wait until there's a huge sale, when the price drops to something more reasonable, like $7.99, $3.99. I got MK11 for $3.99, the complete edition. If MK1 drops to $3.99 or $7.99, I'll pick it up and give the gameplay a go. I don't want to get adept at MK11 and then go back to having to learn all the mixed up controls all over again in MK1. But who cares anyway, after saying all of what I have to say. Mortal Kombat's been a tremendous disappointment for me and you as long-term fans. Netherrealm Studios are a disgrace. Warner Brothers are greedy money-grubbing trolls. I don't want to support any of them for what they've done to Mortal Kombat. I want Mortal Kombat out of their hands and into the hands of another developer who's actually going to go back and research the story of MK properly and make a game that it cares about. I want real passionate people to make Mortal Kombat. These people at NRS are more busy ruining our games than making anything good. Yes, that's my mixed up feelings. Netherrealm Studios are money grubbers and they can go jump into a chasm. I have no support for their greedy and inconsistent practices. I will definitely buy Tekken 8 and I will no longer support future Mortal Kombat until it changes hands. I'm not trusting Netherrealm Studios or Warner Brothers at all with Mortal Kombat. Give it to someone else. Sell it to someone else. You love money, go get your money, but give it to someone who cares about what they're making.